Navigate the shadows, embrace the light, and embrace the fog or not.
It was a Sunday like any other, the kind that felt safe and familiar. I was 9 years old, growing up in a small, close-knit Christian church where everyone knew each other. The church was a second home, warm, welcoming, almost family. My friends and I would run through the halls, laughing and playing without a care in the world. It was the place where we sang, prayed, and learned about God. But in 2008, everything changed, and the place that once felt safe became haunted by secrets darker than I could ever imagine. The first strange thing happened when we learned that someone in our congregation had taken their own life. It was shocking, unsettling. No one really knew what to say or how to process it. Whispers spread, but in a small church like ours, we tried to comfort each other, even when we didn't understand. Still, life went on, and the pastor continued his sermons, comforting the flock like he always did. Not long after, the second blow came. This time, even more devastating. The pastor's wife had died in a tragic accident, or at least, that's what we were told. She'd been involved in a car crash, they said. We mourned for her. We mourned for him. And when the memorial service was held, my family and I showed up to pay our respects. We lined up with the rest of the congregation, and when it was my turn, I walked up to the pastor, hugged him, and whispered words of comfort that now feel hollow. But something was wrong. Months went by, and rumors began to swirl. People started to question the details of her death. Whispers turned into conversations behind closed doors, and eventually, it came to light. The accident wasn't an accident at all. Our pastor had beaten his wife, tried to stage the crash, and for over a year he had gotten away with it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. This man who stood at the pulpit every Sunday preaching about love and forgiveness had murdered his wife. And as if that wasn't enough, people began to dig even deeper into his past. They started asking questions about his first wife, the one who had died back in 1999. What they found was bone-chilling. She hadn't died of natural causes either. This man, our pastor, had killed her too. He had killed 2 wives and no one had known. He almost got away with both murders. And then came the final blow. The reason behind the suicide that had shaken our church months earlier. The man who had taken his life, he'd done it because he found out the pastor was having an affair with his wife. My stomach turned when I learned that. All those nights I had spent on Bible retreats, sharing a roof with this man, this murderer, this betrayer. He had led our prayers, guided our faith, and I had trusted him. Now, years later, I still struggle with trust. How could I not? The man I had looked up to, the man who had once felt like family, turned out to be a monster living among us. In the place that had once been my sanctuary, it became the stage for the darkest secrets I've ever known.